Okay.
How come migrants are allowed to come into this country unvaccinated, but world-class tennis players are not?
You're talking about which world-class tennis player?
Novak Djokovic.
So as far, you know, just since you asked about him, you asked me about him. So visa
Which
records
tennis
are
player?
confidential
Oh,
under
shit.
U.S. law. Therefore, the U.S. government cannot discuss the details of individual visa cases. Due to privacy reasons, the U.S. government also does not comment on medical information of individual travelers as it relates to player.
Something in my mouth.
Look, the questions regarding vaccination requirements is I defer you to CDC. This is a CDC requirement for foreign nationals. This is something that they decide. This is something that is up to them. The U.S. Open and their participant protocols, I refer you to them. They have their own specific protocols.
They,
as well.
them. Just
So they're two
keep
different
keep
things.
pointing
They're
the
two
finger.
different things.
Two different things. First of all, before I go any further, is my audio okay? Is my microphone good? Let's circle back on that. Count the us. Oh, we're going to break that down. Let me just make sure the audio is good before I start. Good, audio's fine. Thank you, Davina. Let's start that from the beginning and just point out the in-your-face mocking of human intelligence.
Okay.
How come migrants are allowed to come into this country unvaccinated, but world-class tennis players are not?
You're talking about which world-class tennis?
Oh, which world-class tennis player? Has there been more than one? Are we feigning ignorance over that which is front page news and has been for quite some? Have they done this to more than one world-class tennis player? What good does it do? She either doesn't know, which is inexcusable, or she does know, and the gaslighting is inexcusable. Oh, what world-class? I don't know what you're talking about. Can you clarify? And then how does she start the answer? What's the first word of the answer?
Player.
Novak Djokovic.
So as far
you're about to get lied to. So here's the thing about that. What does she say about respecting privacy?
Just since you asked about him, you asked me about him. So visa records are confidential.
Okay.
Under
I'm fairly certain that confidentiality can be waived when an individual waives it, like Djokovic might have, by making it front page news, by specifying the reason for which he's not allowed into the U.S. to play at the Moderna-sponsored whatever Open it is.
U.S. law. Therefore, the U.S. government cannot discuss the details of individual visa cases. Due to privacy reasons, the U.S. government also does not comment on medical information of individual travel.
Yeah, for privacy reasons, they don't comment on medical information. They just ask it of citizens and then, arguably insist that they stop working if their answer is not correct. It gets worse, by the way. This is part one. Let me get part two of this. That's part one. It's different. You'd have to ask the CDC. It's not like, these entities work in tandem. You're going to have to ask the CDC. I don't have the answer. I'm going to pass the buck. Go ask them. I defer. The things are different. Yeah. There's always. So here's the thing. It's different. Let's get to part two. And this is after the first answer. Jean-Pierre selling her soul for $180,000 US a year.
Protocols, I refer you to them. They have their own specific protocols as well.
But
so they're two different things. They're two different things.
But how is it two different things? Somebody unvaccinated comes over on a plane. You say that's not okay. Somebody walks into Texas or Arizona unvaccinated. They're allowed to stay. Why?
But that's not how it works. Like we actually no.
I know that that's not what you guys want to happen, but that is what is.
Listen. I'm going to highlight two things here. First of all, I might apologize tongue-in-cheek to Ducey. Ducey seems to be, holding the feet to the fire. I gave him a hard time when he left that selfie with Jen Psaki. Said the end of an era. He said, like being too chummy with the press secretary could lead people to believe that you're too chummy and can't hold their feet to the fire, the political fire, like you're supposed to. I might have been too judgmental on Ducey.
Plane. You say that's not okay. Somebody unvaccinated comes over on a plane. You say that's not okay. Somebody walks into Texas or Arizona unvaccinated. They're allowed to stay.
This is a very interesting point. I've talked about it a few times. Parkinson's law of mundanity. This is a variation of it. When a solution is simple, people can act, they can talk about it forever. They can act all smart when it's an obvious, easy to understand solution. When it's more complicated, and people tend to shy away from it. They tend to avoid addressing it, avoid dealing with complicated problems because it's a lot more fun. It's a lot, it makes you feel a lot smarter to deal with the simple problems. Tracking people who come in on plane is very easy. It's very easy to administer. It's very easy to manage. It's very easy to control. Tracking people who come in by foot by the thousands daily is not feasible. And so it's very easy to implement regulation where it's easy to implement and then say, look at what we're doing. This is how tight our borders are. You come in by flight, you'd better be double vaccinated or you're not coming in. When it comes to controlling an out of control border where people are coming in by the thousands daily, many of whom, if not the majority of whom are not vaccinated, and I don't say that as a flaw, well, that's a lot harder of a problem to manage. So let's just ignore it and listen to this.
Why?
But that's not how it works.
That's not how it works, except that's how it's happening.
Actually, no.
I know that that's not what you guys want to happen, but that is what is happening.
But it's not like somebody walks over and that's not.
Do we need to show the video? I mean, to say that it's not like people just walk over, again, this is not a question of judgment. This is a question of an absolute verifiable matter of fact. There's thousands of videos of maybe they're not walking over, maybe they're running through the Rio Grande. There's video up the wazoo. We just had on Savannah, I don't want to say Savannah Guthrie, Savannah Hernandez. We saw the video. To pretend that it's not happening is as plausible as pretending you don't know which world-class tennis player you're talking about. It is gaslighting 101. I don't know who they think it works on, but it goes back to that expression. They're lying. We know they're lying. They know we know they're lying. We know that they know that we know that they're lying, and they still keep lying.
That's not how.
Exactly what's happening. Thousands of people are walking in a day. Some of them turn themselves over. Some of them are caught. Tens of thousands a week are not. That is what is happening.
So let me just lay out what we have done under this administration.
Lay it out.
We have installed new border technology and set
what?
up joint protocols with Mexico and Guatemala to catch more human traffickers.
Hold on. You've implemented new border technology, like a wall technology, or did you not go with the wall? You're just going with other border technology to control the influx of people coming through a border. Is that a digital wall that you built? Is that less discriminatory than a physical wall? They admit it to you under different circumstances while denying it. It is.
We have already made over 3,000 arrests in the first 3 months of launching an unprecedented anti-smuggling campaign with regional partners.
How many unlawful entries were there in that time? 3,000 arrests? Good. You're about law and order. What percentage of crossings does that represent? Does that represent any portion of crossings, or was that 3,000 arrests for other issues?
We've secured record levels of funding for the Department of Homeland Security.
Secured record levels of funding for Homeland Security. That almost sounds like you're trying to get funds to build a wall. Gaslighting people. It's the most in-your-face, egregious gaslighting. Why is she flipping pages? Good question. Like, Ducey asked her a question. It's not like she had a drafted answer to it. All right. Lots of things. Just, you observe that. You know you're being lied to. Just pay attention to the deceit. Like, oh, let me just feign ignorance. Which world-class tennis player are we talking about? Oh, so here's the thing. I'm going to lie to you. Oh, now I'm telling you that we're working on securing the border when we just spent the last 4 years calling someone a racist for wanting to secure the border. Yeah, and pay no, those things are different. Djokovic not being allowed to come in to play at a tennis tournament, the most socially distanced of games. I think tennis is the most socially distanced game, except doubles tennis. It's more socially distanced than golf. The idea that you would not let in a world-class athlete because he's not vaccinated, but you have admitted to not imposing the requirement of vaccination on unlawful entries crossing a border. You think we're idiots, and the problem might be that a lot of us might be idiots. YouTube has a COVID warning on your show again. Yep, I noticed because I put COVID in the title. People, we've got a good installment today, a good episode today, a good show today. Some surprising news that highlights the absurdity of the world in which we live. We live in a world now, by the way, where disagreements are fought over licensure. Licensure. When Giuliani, with the caveat that Giuliani said some things which were in fact factually incorrect, when they want to go after lawyers, they go after their license. When they want to go after doctors, people go after their license. Even if what they're doing has nothing to do with the practice of their medicine or the practice of their law, people think that when someone says something that upsets you, that you disagree with, that shocks your very soul, that shocks your perception of the world, go to the ethics board and file a complaint against them. So someone anonymous, as typically is the case, although this is, it's not a first, but it's not a third. This has not happened to me before, So an anonymous ethics complaint about a tweet that I put out, I think it was either yesterday or last week. I forget exactly when it was. Just before we get into it, because we're going to get into it, I asked if I could discuss the complaint. It's an anonymous complaint. I asked if I'm allowed to discuss it. I was told I'm not prohibited from discussing it. And we're going to discuss it because it made for one heck of a funny, ironic follow-up retweet of my own tweet. We'll get there. COVID, which is why you're seeing let me see if I can, let me just pull this up for a second, which is why you're seeing a warning on my stream today. I don't want to stop sharing. I just want to go back here. You may notice you've seen a warning on the screen as you enter into the stream right here. Look at this. Beautiful. Come on, hurry up. What's going on here? COVID-19. Get the latest information from the CDC about COVID-19. Ethics complaints, pregnant women and COVID vaccines. Boom, triggered automatically. Learn more. No, thank you. You're going to learn more right now. FBI corruption, Trudeau and more Taco Tuesday. You get the warning because I put the word COVID in the title. And maybe I'm not yet authoritative news for YouTube, although I should be. Authoritative analysis at the very least. We're going to get into the big news that had made the rounds on social media yesterday and today about the UK allegedly updating the conclusions as relates to toxicity of a certain Fauci juicy jabby grab with respect to pregnant and breastfeeding mothers. We'll get there because it's an interesting discussion. Okay. FBI corruption, apparently, the guy that was involved in the Hunter Biden FBI laptop cover-up has now quietly been shuffled out of the FBI. We'll get there. And there was one other thing on the menu. I forget. No. Benjamin Owen snitched Gavin off. It's a prank. No. I don't know anything. Cameron, I don't know the truth of this. I'm going to see if I can find it. I'm going to star that, and we're going to come back to that. If it's a prank, it's not a funny prank, sir. Standard intro disclaimers, people. No legal advice, no medical advice, no election fornication advice. Shizer. Whoa, I almost pulled my entire computer down. Sorry. And now you all know that whenever I swear authentically, I reflexively go to German. Scheiße. Ich bin almost putting my computer down. Okay, that's better. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to lose my temper. No medical advice, no legal advice, no election fornication advice. YouTube super chats. YouTube takes 30%. If you don't like that, we're simultaneously streaming on Rumble. Rumble has the equivalent called Rumble Rants. They take 20%. Better for the creator, better for, you know the shtick. Today is not a sponsored video. Not that it would change anything. Someone once said, well, the sponsored video is going to change your content. No, it won't. No, it won't, because if that is a requirement or a demand, the sponsorship is not happening. Okay, I think we're live. Good, we are live on Rumble. Okay, what does this one say? You can tell by her face she knows he is telling the truth. She has to lie. That's what she is paid to do. she's uncomfortable. That's just what's clear. She's Saki, at the very least, was a better actor when lying through her teeth. I think Jean-Pierre has a conscience. That's not to say that Saki doesn't. Saki was better at acting. Can we talk about Dimitrov? I don't know who that is, so let me just screen grab it. When will someone ask her why she is so ignorant of recent news stories? Are you fully ignorant or are you just incompetent? And we're going to come back to this afterwards. Okay, what do you want to start with, people? What do we want to start with today? Still haven't gotten a haircut? No, suffering thuckatash. I'm not getting a haircut anytime soon. I was told there would be tacos. Disappointed. We're gonna get news tacos, people. We're gonna start with my ethics complaint. There were tacos. I ate them, and then there was one more. Let's just start with the ethics complaint because it's so damn funny. In a way, let me pull up. People, I've said this before when I wasn't the interested party. Anonymous ethics complaints of people who have had no professional dealings with the lawyer against whom they are filing an ethics complaint. That is disingenuous, malicious exploitation of the licensure process. It in and of itself is unethical. When there was a lawyer, I won't name names, even though it's public, who filed an ethics complaint against Keith Wilson for tweets that he made during the convoy while representing clients. No professional dealings. I appreciate everyone thinks, snitch on your neighbors because we've all been told that we are now, we're now the government's unelected police. Everyone loves it. Nothing worse than giving small people big powers. I appreciate some people think like that. But filing ethics complaints against people you've never had any professional dealings with, especially when the conduct is not in the context of anything remotely related to the individual's medical practice or legal practice, it's atrocious. Did I not put the tweet up? So that's what's happened to me. Some anonymous ethics complaints comes in, and let me just show you. No, we don't want. It's related to Trudeau. You may be aware of the fact that recently, the news of Canada's euthanasia laws and euthanasia consequences. They call it medical assistance in dying. It's sort of like an acronym for euthanasia. It's been in the news a lot lately because a lot of people were not aware of the law, how the law has been expanded, and how the law has been implemented, resulting in a situation which should shock the conscience of everyone. I'll preface this again by saying what I said every other time I discuss this. I support an individual's right to dignity in passing. Terminally ill, pain and anguish, full awareness of fact and law, of sound mind to make the ultimate decision. I believe in dignity in death. And I say this as someone who has had loved ones terminally ill. Like my father-in-law passed away from cancer. He was, I say, fortunate in that he spent 2 days in a hospital. For a year, he had cancer and was, in retrospect, such, I want to say trooper, but that feels juvenile. No one knew the degree of suffering that he was in physically. He went to work until the week he died. And then one night, it was off a cliff. He did not spend time suffering in hospital with, terminal pancreatic cancer, permanent anguish, nothing you can do to resolve it. I am sympathetic to and support an individual's right to choose to die with dignity as the last resort, terminal illness, anguish, of sound mind to make that decision. That's not what's happening by all accounts in Canada. 10,064 medical assisted in dying deaths. 10,064 Canadians euthanized by the Canadian government in 2021 alone. 37% more than 2020. 30% more than 2019. Just parabolic. When was this tweet from? August 21. So it's over a week ago. I'm highlighting also the insanity of the number to whom death is administered in compared to the number of deaths from COVID that in the minds of the government warranted shutting down free society. So I tweeted, PM Justin Trudeau, shut down Canada. Shut down Canada, objectively true. Destroyed our economy, objectively true. Isolated our children, objectively true. Desecrated our Charter of Rights. Okay, that might be opinion. That I'll argue is objectively true. Forced an experimental drug on us because NIH, this is not my words, referred to it as an experimental vaccine, and I think those words are still on the website. For 40,000 alleged COVID deaths. And I put alleged in brackets because only recently Dina Hinshaw, Kieran Moore, Canadian doctors come out and say, yeah, we really should be distinguishing between deaths from COVID versus deaths with COVID. Because they made the mistake once with a 14-year-old boy. They've made the mistake elsewhere. So I say alleged. I'm not saying this has all been a totally fabricated, lies through and through, just alleged, because undoubtedly some of those were deaths with COVID, not deaths from COVID. All of this shut down the country, over 40,000 deaths. At the same time, he euthanized over 10,000 Canadians in 2021 alone. Hashtag Trudeau the killer. Well, apparently someone read this tweet and thought either they didn't know that it was factually true. So in their mind, they say, Viva's spreading false information. That number's wrong. Wrong. That number's right. So they either read it, thought it was factually incorrect, thus warranting of an ethics complaint, even though it's posted on my personal Twitter feed in my name, not purporting to be in the practice of any practice and not purporting to be in the context of any file. They either thought the statistic was wrong or hear me out, I'll steelman it for them, or they take issue with the phrasing and that Justin Trudeau did not euthanize any Canadians, as if that's what anybody could think was meant by this, that Justin Trudeau went around Canada and personally, single-handedly, with his own hands, euthanized 10,000 Canadians. So they either don't know the number or they think it's factually incorrect because Justin Trudeau didn't do it. It was his policy and the system that did it. Okay. Some might say that's a distinction without a difference. Some might say, I won't get into any hyperbolic comparisons, but leaders who are held to account very infrequently actually carried out the act themselves. That responsibility when it comes to being a politician is through the policy that government and that politician has enacted. That which occurs under the laws enacted by a government are the direct responsibility of that government. The buck stops with the prime minister. So some might still say, even that statement as formulated is factually correct in that it's his policy, it's his action, he bears the direct responsibility for it. But let's just say he didn't do it by his own hands and someone might misread that. So I clarified. Following an ethics complaint, I'll clarify my tweet below. I wasn't accusing Justin Trudeau of having personally euthanized over 10,000 Canadians in 2021. At 1 hour a life, and by the way, let this sink in, at 1 hour a life, that would have taken over a year. There's 8,700 and however many hours in a year. At 1 hour a life, that would have taken over a year. So it's actually just physically impossible if anyone were so inclined to disingenuously interpret the tweet that way. I was stating through his policy, he euthanized 10,000 Canadians, and it's true. Now, in fairness, by the way, I didn't have enough room. The calculation of 1 hour a life, that would be if it was 1 hour a day, every day, no sleep, no eat, no nothing, it would take over a year. For a work week, 40 hours, it would, if one were to do it single-handedly, it would take multiple years. And by the way, here's an article from National Review. 10,000 plus Canadian euthanasia killings in 2021. I'll click on that and then I'm going to read it in a second. So this is someone tweets something. Someone doesn't like it and they file an anonymous complaint with the Bar Society to go after the license. And As if anybody could read that literally. As if anybody could read that literally. And it illustrates the further point that one individual could not do that by their own hand. It requires a machine. I'm reading some of the chats, which I'm not going to bring up. So that was my fun of the day. But I want to get into that article. Let me just read. So, but this is how the war is fought. People don't like what you have to say. I would, if I were a Barnesy type lawyer in my practice of law, if I were not too, I'm not sure what I would do actually in the practice of law anymore. But, some lawyers would actually make statements like that in the practice of law and then say, yeah, let's debate. Let's go ahead and debate. When someone says Justin Trudeau euthanized 10,000 people in a year, does he mean Justin Trudeau did it personally and therefore it's an ethics complaint? Or is it actually factually correct and everyone should be outraged, not at the person tweeting it, but at the fact that it's occurring? Let's read this article, by the way, because it's the article is pretty shocking here. Let me see here. This one, is this it? Yeah. 10,000 plus Canadian euthanasia killings. I didn't even use the word killing because this, keep it mildly toned down. Oh no, I did. Justin the Killer, sorry. Killings in 2021. This is from the National Review. The National Review referring to it as Euthanasia Killings. Canada has gone all in for euthanasia, and it's going to get worse now that the, quote, strict guidelines to protect against abuse in the movement's parlance have expanded to people with chronic and disabling conditions and has expanded. It already has and will expand to those with dementia and mental illness. Oh, but get mad at the tweet. Don't get mad at reality. The statistics are startling and illustrate that once euthanasia consciousness infects a culture, it grows like a fungus. And then we got the comparisons. 2021, 10,064. Up from 7,600 in 2020, 5,600 in 2019, 4,400 in 2018, 2,300 in 2017, and 1,018 in 2016. By the way, look at this. Represents 3.3% of all deaths in Canada. Look at this, people. When all data sources are considered, the total number of MAID reported assisted deaths in Canada from legalization to December 31,000 people. Oh, by the way, so it started up from 1,018 in 2016. Who knows, if we're just taking a mild gander of a guess here, who knows when Justin Trudeau was elected? I know that it's 2015. He's been the Prime Minister of Canada since 2015. So since 2016, under the tutelage of the Justin Trudeau government, medical assistance in dying has euthanized 30,000 Canadians. Exponentially, I might add, exponential increase, year over year over year, set to exponentially increase even more because of what's being included in it. They're lifting the restrictions on the ultimate decision, the ultimate sanction. Hold on one second. I'm going to cough just so I don't do this into the mic. Let's just see if there's anything more in there. That's a huge number. Oh yeah, no. Okay, then we got that. A few more thoughts. Listen to this. Some of the people might still be alive today had they received sustained suicide prevention treatment. But that essential service is not usually offered to people asking for euthanasia. We're still in the context of people asking for euthanasia, not in the context of where it's being pressured onto the most vulnerable people of society. The abdication of compassion is a profound abandonment of despairing ill. Only 15% of Canadians have access to quality palliative care. Imagine if the government invested in providing reasonable palliative care, quality palliative care, pain management, psychological assistance. Imagine if they invested in that. But no, because as another report that I pulled up showed, not only does this not cost the government more to euthanize Canadians, there stands to be substantial savings for the government. Why wouldn't they then why wouldn't they then shockingly promote something that's going to save them lots and lots of money? It'll help the budget balance itself. Instead of fixing the system so that the sick and the psychologically despaired, can get the help they need to go on with, the most important thing of life itself. No, let's recommend MAIDs. I love the acronym, it's just beautiful. Let's recommend medical assistance in dying as a treatment on par with all other treatments. In Ontario, doctors have no conscience rights. They must either kill qualified patients who ask to die or find a doctor they know will do the deed, known as euphemism, so typical of the movement as an effective referral. Wow. That's actually news to me. Some people were euthanized out of fear of loneliness caused by COVID lockdowns. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Anonymous ethics complainer. You want to get mad at me for my tweet and not get mad at this? Oh, no, but it's not. Justin Trudeau didn't go around with needling 10,000 people. He just enacted policy, implemented it such that not only was it being offered as dying with dignity for the terminally ill with immeasurable pain and suffering. No. Loneliness caused by COVID. We heard the stories. In one case, a woman asked to die because of the isolation she would face. Ironically, her family was allowed to attend her death, but not visit as a means of helping her continue on. We read about that story. Moreover, hundreds of people chose death, at least in part due to fear of loneliness in 2019, a trend that has continued. Canada conjoins euthanasia and organ harvest. I didn't even know. Wow. That sounds like the corruption we see in other things that are supposed to remain safe, legal, and rare. Amazing. I'm actually getting angrier than I was before. Beginning in 2023, the mentally ill will be eligible for euthanasia. And here's the shocking truth. Nearly 4 million Americans die each year. If the same percentage of people were killed by a doctor here as are now in Canada, it would amount to a mere more than 120,000 euthanasia killings per year. And even more, yada, yada. We had better pay close attention to Canada because the same culture of death pathogen, I like that. This guy's been reading Gad Sad, is coursing through our national veins, albeit our resistance is stronger. I agree. But once a society falls into the cultural abyss, it is very difficult to climb back out. A double financial incentive. You'll save money and you can make money. Here, everyone, you can go read that article. So that's what I had to do this morning. Look up the lady in Ontario who got MAID for allergies. Dude, I'm not going to hold on. Let's do this right now. Because if it's true, MAID Ontario allergies euthanized. So just in case anyone's out there that thought that I was suggesting that Justin Trudeau went around and single-handedly, personally, with his own hand, euthanized 10,000 Canadians, I would suggest that you might need to take some logic courses and reading courses. But no, it's just directly Justin Trudeau's policy, exponential increase year over year since Justin Trudeau took office, and now the balance of budget itself when there's no one to govern. Hyperbole, people, don't take that literally. Woman with chemical sensitivities, shut the front door, Chet. Shut the front door, shut the back door, shut all of it. This is from CTV. While I tend to believe that they are propagandist liars, when they say something that would run counter to the narrative, I'll take it with a little more credulity. I don't know if that's the word. Woman with chemical sensitivities, that means allergies, I think, chose medically assisted death after failed bid to get better housing. Whose hands is this on? Oh, I didn't do it. It's not my fault. Let's see when that has ever served as a defense for alleged crimes, alleged immoral activity committed by the administration of a leader. Woman with chemical sensitivities, dudes, I'm putting this in the chat, chose Death after failed bid to get better housing. A 50-year-old woman with severe sensitivities to chemicals chose medically assisted death after her desperate search for affordable housing free of cigarette smoke and chemical cleaners failed. Advocates say, okay, so bear in mind now, advocates. I'm just steel manning. I'm not sure that really is going to change much here. The woman's assisted death appears to be a first in the world for someone diagnosed with multiple chemical sensitivities, a chronic condition also referred to as allergies, severe allergies, as an environmental illness or environmental allergies, say patient support groups and doctors familiar with the case. The government sees me as expendable trash, a complainer, I think they call them food eaters, useless eaters, I think was one of the terms. Useless and a pain in the ass, Sophia said in a video filmed on February 14, 8 days before her death, and shared with CTV News by one of her friends. She died after a frantic effort by friends, supporters, and even her doctors to get her safe and affordable housings in Toronto. She also left behind letters showing a desperate 2-year search for help, in which she begs local, provincial, and federal officials for assistance in finding a home away from smoke and chemicals wafting through her apartment. But why would they do that? It's cheaper we'll help you off yourself. I can't believe this, the world that we're living in right now. Sophia asked a supporter to share her correspondence with the media, but asked that her real name not be used to protect her family. She also did not want media attention prior to her death, say friends, fearing eviction and a delay of her medically assisted death. Imagine that. Don't publicize it because I don't want anyone impeding with me prematurely taking my own life, not because I'm chronically ill with pancreatic cancer, burning a hole in my stomach, nothing I can do about it, no amount of painkillers can subdue this pain. No, I can't find good housing. The government's not helping me. So, okay, guys, hold on. Let me just get to the, let me go. Oh, I didn't even put on slow mode again today. My bad. 15 seconds and subscribers only. So long, Trudeau bots. Let me, I don't want, it's too expensive for the government to find housing. You sure you wouldn't just be better off dead? You sure? Housing, you never know if there's going to be someone smoking in your new house. It might make things really bad. Sure, you just don't want to die? We'll make it easy for you. This person begged for help for years. 2 years, wrote everywhere, called everyone asking for healthy housing, says Roni Perez, president of the Environmental Health Association. We've got it. 4 doctors were aware of Sophia's case, and they also wrote to the federal housing disability officials on her behalf. Which doctor did it? We physicians find it unconscionable that no other solution is proposed to the situation other than medical assistance in dying. Dudes, go share this far and wide. Go share this far and wide on Twitter. There you go. Viva, get the bot. No, I put on slow mode and subscriber only mode. So the Trudeau bots. I think these bots are intended to make fun of Trudeau. That's the reality. I think they think they're doing good by making Trudeau look like the person he is, but it's annoying for the chat. Viva likes to rage bait. It makes good money. Scheist Bub. And I guess you don't mind people, killing Canadian citizens because they have allergies and can't find housing. So I'd rather rage bait against things that deserve rage than be a passive observer of society degenerating into a world where life is no more valuable than the cost of housing. Yeah, whatever. Okay, sorry. I should not focus on those stupid comments because there will be no shortage of them. I'm shocked. This doesn't sound like Canada we used to visit every summer. It's not. It's not. Like it's a funny thing they say about bankruptcy in law. It happens very slowly, then all at once. Financial bankruptcy of a company is not much different than the moral bankruptcy of a country under the government. It happens very slowly, then all at once. Benjamin Owen. Okay, hold on. Sorry, let's stop doing that. Dimitrov dropped from tennis tournament. Oh, I saw the video. The video of this guy clutching his chest, gasping for air, and it says sponsored by Moderna on the bottom. I saw that. Not going to lie, but when I was much younger and people would talk about euthanasia, I always wondered what was going on with youth in Asia. Yeah, that pun will always be there. Be careful. Clinton has been... Okay. Can't trust euthanasia in a public healthcare system. Philippe Brevard, you're right. They have an incentive in doing it because it reduces costs greatly. And hey, join it with organ donors, join it with tissue donors. You could kill two birds with one stone. I didn't even mean that pun, but it's very apropos. Did I know Florida snook season starts Thursday? I didn't. I'll tell you one thing, though. I was at the beach a few days ago, and I saw what I believe was a snook in the water. I got it on my GoPro right here. I just got to now put the video on my camera, on my computer, so I can see if the footage was good. What ethical code are you accused of violating? The Quebec ethics bar thingy thing. You know, it's not to say that I can't imagine a situation in which a lawyer's words, not even in the context of the practice, could result in an ethics complaint. Like you come out and you scream, you get caught on camera screaming some wickedly offensive racial slurs. Okay, you get caught, you get convicted of a crime. I can see an ethics complaint, even if I think sometimes the crimes people commit out of the proverbial ring should not necessarily come into the ring, specifically with athletes. But I can see that. When we became lawyers, we had to have a certificat de bonne conduite, a certificate of good conduct. Like they did background checks, make sure we have no criminal codes, criminal records, whatever. I could see certain words so shocking, so offensive that it could result in an ethics breach that the individual has brought disrepute onto the profession. On that tweet, I respectfully would disagree with anybody who came to that conclusion, especially because it's factually correct. So the ethics code just says, you have to show respect to the courts. You can't behave in a way that gives the practice of law a lucrative, like you can't run ads. Quebec, you can't run lawyer ads. So like coming to Florida and you see billboards of lawyers like, we win money. Come call for the aggressive lawyer. You don't do that in Quebec. Certainly not Quebec and not in Canada. And you have to conduct yourself in a way that shows dignity to the profession. So, yeah. When a poor person euthanizes someone, it's murder. When the government does it, it's healthcare. Healthcare. Okay, I get jokes, Jason. There are only 3 legit reasons for government: national defense, protection of rights, enforcement of contracts. It has no business administering healthcare or any other function than those 3. I might disagree on the healthcare urgent side of it. Healthcare for those who can't afford it for themselves. But administering death when it has a vested interest, financial, on both sides of it. Higher percentage of maids ends. I'm not sure I understand that. Anyways, that's it. So that was that article. For those of you who didn't know, it's shocking and it's outrageous. And now we know, because Chet Chisholm, the aggregate knowledge of the internet, knows even more than I do. A woman with chemical sensitivities. It makes it sound like she's imbalanced or like has to live in a bubble. No, allergies, environmental allergies. Euthanized. Oh, gun crime. Okay. Does gun crime kill more than 3% of aggregate deaths? Anyways, even if true, there's probably some important breakdowns within that statistic, because I think it probably includes suicide. So, okay, shocking, just shocking. What was the other one? What was the other? I want to bring this up. This just another one. I meant to start with this. Listen to this rhetoric.
And then Senator Lindsey Graham said last night there would be riots in the street if former President Trump is prosecuted for taking classified government documents to Mar-a-Lago. What is the White House response to that?
So we have seen MAGA Republicans attack our democracy.
MAGA Republicans? When did a meme become what is effectively being used as a derogatory slur for a demographic of society? MAGA Republicans, I'm going to let it run.
We have seen MAGA Republicans take away our rights, make threats.
They're dangerous. They've made threats, these MAGA Republicans.
Of violence, including this weekend. And that is what the president was referring to when you all asked me last week about the semi-fascism comment. And he was clear, not all Republicans. There are some mainstream Republicans. He mentioned Governor of Maryland, Larry Hogan, and talked about him and what he's been doing and how he said, called him out of being that mainstream Republican. But
They're not
we have
all bad.
seen these MAGA extreme Republicans making these kind of comments, which is dangerous. And this is what we are talking about. When Joe Biden was making his comments, President Biden was making his comments last week. Look, this is a president that believes when you are president of the United States, it is your duty, it is your responsibility to have the strongest voice when it comes to democracy, when speaking about democracy, and that's what you're going to continue to hear from this president.
I just want you, just as a mental exercise, listen to this statement. Extract the person, the identity of the person making this statement, and then just replace the word MAGA Republicans with any other ethnic, religious, ideological identity aspect. Just replace it with anything. These slur. They're not all bad, but these enter.
And then
I
Senator
don't
Lindsey
want to listen
Graham
to it
said
again.
last night
It's
there would
people should watch the documentary. Oh, geez, I'm not going to remember the name of it, but it was a documentary on Rwanda, and the idea that they referred to the others who ultimately the genocide was perpetrated against as tall trees because they were taller. I believe they had European blood in there somewhere, which explained for some. Hey, don't do that. Get out of there. The tall trees. Just listen to this statement.
be riots
And put
in the street
tall
if former
trees.
President Trump is prosecuted for taking classified.
Coming from the highest office of the land. Not these MAGA Republicans they have a legitimate political grievance, gripe, however you want to call it. They should be respected. We have to listen to them. No, these MAGA Republicans, these tall trees, they are dangerous. They're a threat to democracy. And we have to be rough. We have to be, no. Fill in the blank. Fill in the blank of this political permission slip and then see how people respond to this.
By government documents and House response to that.
So we have seen MAGA Republicans attack our democracy. We have seen MAGA Republicans take away our rights, make threats of violence.
Oh, by the way, do you know what she's talking about there? MAGA Republicans taking away our rights? The Supreme Court of the United States. Oh, and what was that thing that happened recently to one of the justices? It's not just irresponsible. It's deliberately so. And they're coining this term so that they can dehumanize MAGA Republicans because they're dangerous. They're taking away our rights. They're threatening your children, people. They're threatening your children. Something's to be done about these MAGA Republicans. They're a threat to society. Oh, well, look at that. Someone was planning to do something not so legal to a justice of the Supreme Court. Well, that MAGA Republican extremist, I think it was Elizabeth Warren who called them an extremist court. Well, it's like deplorable under Clinton to MAGA Republicans under Biden. I think it was, back in the day when even the heated rhetoric was a little less heated. Bible thumping, gun clinging. I think that was under Obama. To deplorable, like vermin under Clinton, to MAGA Republicans. So we're not equating them to vermin anymore. We're just dehumanizing them as an entity, not as a portion of society that is deserving of representation and being listened to. It's beautiful, wonderful, responsible, democratic. It's as democratic as euthanizing 10,000 people in a year is liberal. It's ironic. Okay. Well, did I just see a bot make its way through? No, I didn't. Okay. But I did see a yellow super chat that I wanted to get to. Here. They're not all bad. In fact, some of my best friends are MAGA Republicans. I mean, the memes write themselves because it's just so obvious. Off topic, but a great laugh. Google Clinton Gore 92 flag. Well, let me just do it and make sure that I'm not going to get in trouble for this. Clinton Gore 92 flag. Snopes. Oh boy. All righty. Let's bring. I like this. I like this real time interactive exploration. Off topic, but for a great laugh, Google Clinton Gore 92 flag. Let's just see this because Snopes seems to have fact checked it in 2015. Is this a 1992 Clinton Gore Confederate flag campaign button? Campaign buttons for the 1992 Clinton Gore national ticket bearing a Confederate flag background are of uncertain provenance. Unproven. The 1992 Clinton Gore presidential distributed button featured a Confederate flag motif. Okay, I'll accept unproven unless I can hear firsthand account from someone at the time working on the campaign. This could have been like a double fakey reverse meme. Like this could have been a joke that someone printed up at the time, and okay, I don't think we need to read the rest of that. So it's not bad. I thought it might be something bad, but there could be explanations that would explain why that might not have been a bona fide campaign pin for the campaign. Would Snopes lie? The question is not would they. The question is how often do they lie? Because we know that they lie. That's my opinion. Ethics complaint. And it's not in my opinion. It's a damn matter of fact also. I remember those. Tyler Durden is a stupid name. Well, hold on a second, Tyler Durden. That's a Fight Club reference. If you're a 55-year-old person, well, you'd have to be 92. You'd have to be a good decade older than me to have remembered that. So you could be 55. 55-year-old into Fight Club? Okay. Someone better erase Dukes of Hazzard. Burn it all. To get every reel of Dukes of Hazzard, all memorabilia, destroy it. Memory hole it. Avo, you forgot the first. Damn it, I'm in trouble. Okay, so we can get rid of that now. MAGA Republicans. Some of them are good. Okay. Oh, yes. Speaking of the COVID warning on the channel, should I crack my knuckles? I know it would upset some of you, so I'm not going to. Speaking of why there was a COVID warning on this stream, it's because I mentioned something about COVID. There was a story going around on the Twitterverse. Let me see if I have it opened. I don't, so let me just go. Say, boss. Okay, I need to go to my non-incognito Twitter account to get the article. There was a story going around that just like that, very quietly, the United Kingdom government went and discreetly modified the recommendation for the Fauci juice and the Fauci juice booster to pregnant and breastfeeding women. And I'll show it to you because you need to understand the adverse argument, not only even when you don't want to, but especially when you don't want to. You need to know what people are saying, even if it upsets you, or even if you just don't want to hear it, because that's how it works. So this is the story. Let me see here. So this was my tweet. At the risk of asking the obvious question, how the heck did it get approved, the Fauci juice, for recommendation in the first place, if nearly 2 years in, they are now determining an absence of data at the present time for pregnant and breastfeeding women. Now, it's off of this website. I show you my work, people, so that if I screw up, people can correct me. But screwing up is not the problem. Trying to conceal that you screwed up, not correcting when you screwed up, or letting the screw up just stay in the ether is the problem. So we're looking at the same thing here. Yes, we are. Summary of the public assessment report for COVID-19 vaccine, Pfizer, BioNTech. This is where the confusion comes in. Updated August 16, 2022. This is cold brew. I like cold brew now. So it was updated August 16, 2022. And this, for the most part, is going to be the first time that a lot of people are seeing it, myself included. So we say updated, updated this month. and I'm reading this, YouTube overlords, I'm just reading from the Government of UK website. Toxicity conclusions. I'll do it in my British golfing voice. The absence of reproductive toxicity data is a reflection of the speed of development to first identify and select COVID-19 mRNA vaccine BNT 160, whatever the heck, for clinical testing and its rapid development to meet the ongoing urgent health need. In principle, a decision on licensing a vaccine could be taken in these circumstances without data from reproductive toxicity studies. Animals? That doesn't make sense. But there are studies ongoing, and these will be provided when available. In the context of supply under Regulation 174, it is considered that sufficient reassurance of safe use of the vaccine in pregnant women cannot be provided at the present time. Let me read that again, people. In the context of supply under Regulation 174, it is considered that sufficient reassurance of safe use of the vaccine in pregnant women cannot be provided at this time. However, use in women of childbearing potential could be supported provided healthcare professionals are advised to rule out known or suspected pregnancy prior to vaccination. Women who are breastfeeding should also not be vaccinated. I don't know why my accent just changed there. Women who are breastfeeding, let me just highlight this for you, should also not be vaccinated. This is from the government of the United Kingdom's website on this. These judgments reflect the absence of data at the present time and do not reflect a specific finding of concern. Oh, thank you. Just so we're clear, when I read this, I understood this right. Women who are breastfeeding should also not be vaccinated, and sufficient reassurance of safe use in pregnant women cannot be provided at this time. So some people might have read this and said, oh, they just updated that now. It's the first time I've ever seen this. It says it's updated August 16. Why are they only updating this now? Well, some people are saying, oh, it doesn't say what you think it says. And I wanted to understand what they were saying. It doesn't say what we think it was. It doesn't say what some people think it was saying. What it actually says is much, 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 much worse. Much worse. Much worse. So where was the one argument of someone who said, and I had to respond here. So this person had a thread with herself, a long one. The data, this is the explanation that this individual provides. Well, hold on. Let's go back to the thread that this person had with themselves. She says, Vicky Mail, immunologist working on pregnancy at Imperial College. Okay. Imperial College sounds familiar. It sounds like, I think they might have been the ones who came up with the initial models, if I'm not mistaken. Am I wrong about that? Did Imperial College not come up with the initial models on the Rona projections of death and destruction that would have left all of us dead and destructed? I think so. Chat, let me know. So she's a doctor. She's an immunologist. I will defer. I will give the credit and the what's the word? Deference that goes with that. I am not an immunologist. I just have half a brain. If you are pregnant in the UK, the NHS UK strongly recommends that you get the vaccine if you are not already protected. The advice has not changed. We agree, Dr. Mail. We agree. They strongly recommend, if you're pregnant, that you get the vaccine. The advice has not changed. It might not be changed because it might have always been both A and not A at the same time. In December, Pfizer submitted data on its vaccine to MHRA for temporary approval, which was granted. Okay, fine. Periodically, Pfizer sends more data. Okay. On August 16, they sent additional data. Okay. The documents were updated accordingly. The data on pregnancy has not been updated since December 2020. How could they have had any data on pregnancy in December 2020 when the vaccine was in its infancy stages then, pun intended, and you could not have had 9 months, let alone 9 months plus a few years to get pregnancy data? COVID started allegedly in March 2020. Of course you had no pregnancy data. Ugh. By the way, I'm not an immunologist. I just have half a brain and can put 2 and 2 together to realize stupid argument. The data on pregnancy has not been updated since December 2020, meaning they have no data on pregnancy at best. At worst, if you ask Brooke Jackson, they have some data on pregnancy. And the reason why they haven't sent it over yet is not because they don't have it. It's because they haven't decided how they're going to process it. This is because Pfizer has not sent over additional data on the topic to MHRA. So appreciate what this doctor just said. The data on pregnancy has not been updated since December 2020. COVID had not March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Oh, look at that. It's the birth date of COVID. It's the birth date of the vaccine from COVID. They had no data they haven't, sorry, let me rephrase. They have not updated the pregnancy data since December 2020 when COVID had only been officially declared 9 months earlier. Not the vaccine, COVID. Oh yeah, it hasn't been updated because Pfizer hasn't sent over the additional data so we can look at it. The data on pregnancy. Okay, so then that was my point there. Care to explain? So this is the question. The data on pregnancy has not been updated since December 2020. This is because and I'm highlighting it. They haven't sent over. Care to explain then what data they had for pregnant women in December when it was declared safe and effective for everyone? But don't take my word for it. So I went back, by the way. I don't think we need to do the exercise. I went back in the Wayback Machine. The conclusion on toxicity doesn't seem to have been changed since January 2021. Why is that relevant? Why might that be relevant? Well, let's go to another website. And I went back, updated April 11th, 2022. COVID-19 vaccination is strongly recommended for pregnant and breastfeeding women. Oh, you don't see this. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. Yeah, you're not seeing it. Let me just put this up here. I just clicked on the link. Clicked on that first link. Here you go. Gov.uk. 11 April 2022. Updated. COVID vaccination is strongly recommended in women, in breastfeeding women, and hold on. Let me see what I'm reading here. COVID-19 vaccination is strongly recommended for pregnant and breastfeeding women. Updated April 11, 2022. Go to the other website. Is it letting me? Summary of public health assessment. Updated August 2022. And just in case anybody forgot the conclusion, just in case anybody forgot the bloody conclusion, we just said it's highly recommended for pregnant and breastfeeding women. Go to toxicity. Oh yeah, it's still there. Women who are breastfeeding should not be vaccinated. This is the same government simultaneously giving diametrically opposed and mutually incompatible medical advice. Anyone going to say, what the F? What the fudge? Shut the front door? Holy front door, what the front door is going on in this front door world? Let me just, okay, so I just ask, can anyone attempt to make sense of these two seemingly mutually exclusive conclusions issued at the same time? Now, let me just go to the chat. Chat, am I missing something? Am I missing something? Oh, and by the way, I didn't tweet it. I was just waiting for someone to make the mistake. I was anticipating that someone, let me bring this up, that someone would say, oh, Viva, you idiot. They're recommending the Moderna vaccine. They're not recommending, because that study over there about the toxicity related to the Pfizer vaccine, not to the Moderna vaccine. So when they said the toxicity of the Pfizer vaccine can't be verified, we don't have enough data right now, which is why they said the Pfizer vaccine is what they meant when they said pregnant women and breastfeeding women should not get the vaccine. Oh, okay. I was waiting for someone to make that statement. Nobody fell into the trap. Why? Well, I was waiting for that. Oh, looky. This is from the same. No, stop it. I need to move this over here. The one where they say vaccination is strongly recommended for pregnant and breastfeeding women, whereas in the very other article, publication from the government, they said not recommended for pregnant women and breastfeeding. Oh, but that was only the Pfizer vaccine? Oh, I'm sorry. Looky. They should not delay vaccination until they have given birth. This is to protect them and their babies. In the UK, over 100,000 pregnant women have been vaccinated, mainly with Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. Oh, they've been vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine. And the government itself has said, is this the same article? They've been vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine. Right there, people. I mean, it's there. They said it. Over 100,000 pregnant women have been vaccinated mainly with Pfizer, the same government that told you in its conclusion on toxicity, and I will stop belaboring the point after this. Women who are breastfeeding should also not be vaccinated. It is sufficient reassurance of safe use in pregnant women cannot be provided at the present time. Have I missed something? It's a serious, sincere question. Am I misunderstanding something? Or are they just hoping? Yeah. People don't read the fine print. Who the hell makes it to the end of a boring scientific publication from the government? Front headline, first two lines, it's highly recommended pregnant women and breastfeeding women get the vaccine. Tiny little paragraph on toxicity in a little study over there. Not recommended. Can't. Okay. Some say the science has changed. No. The funny thing is, they've always said both at the same time. Anyhow, now you all know. That was the homework. So anybody raising that disingenuous argument, oh, they haven't changed the conclusion of the toxicity of, that's been the same conclusion since the beginning. They haven't updated their pregnancy data since December 2020. Oh, I'm sorry. That's an excuse for then telling pregnant women and breastfeeding women to do it, to get the jab? They haven't updated the data since they had none at all. They now say, they can't confirm anything. They don't recommend it while simultaneously strongly recommending it. And you got an immunologist in the UK, Imperial College. By the way, was I right about Imperial College? You got an immunologist at the Imperial College towing the line and seemingly, totally unaware of the problem here, reiterating the very same statement that is utterly contradicted by the government itself. Okay. Anyways, but at least now you'll know the argument and you can retort. And if anybody says, oh, but that's only for the Moderna, they're recommending the Moderna, not the Pfizer, which has a warning. Nope. Nope, by the document itself. Yeah, we've already read this. All right. I'm sweating, and the coffee is getting diluted because the ice cubes are melting. Yeah, so Justin is also going after vets. Check out the New York Post Canadian soldier with PWSMKAZ. I like the fact that you're saying this because it means you're new to the channel, which means I'm still reaching new people. I've covered this at length. Trudeau has since apologized for the misunderstanding. Apologized for extending the policy the way the policy is drafted to be extended once the sunset clause fades into the sunset. James Hudson, thank you very much. Talex, what's up, Talex? This stuff will just divide people until the left owns up to Antifa and BLM violence. All the MAGA people hear it is threats with stuff like this. MAGA Republicans. It's just unbelievable. Hold on one second. I see something in the chat. Okay. Cold brew does rule. Although I got one cold brew, it was so strong, I almost couldn't drink it, so I had to dilute it with this one. Viva, what's up? Hold on, I just saw Imperial College is funded by Bill Gates. Yeah, I tweeted that. You know what the funny thing is? I tweeted as a joke. I'm not even sure I'd want to be number one, even as a joke. Now that I see, like, first of all, Rekieta, I don't call it grift. I call it hard work. Rekieta deserves it. But when I see like Trudeau, Zelensky, who were the other? I think Hunter Biden was on it. I don't even want to be number one as a joke, but that might make it more of the joke now. You know, people go make it happen. But okay. Based on your recommendation from months ago, I finally watched The Jerk over the weekend. Fun recommendation. Thank you. Ryan MacArthur. It's the perfect movie. There are, in my view, 3 perfect. Let's start with comedies. The Jerk, Uncle Buck, Princess Bride. Just perfect movies. I've seen The Jerk too many times now, but it's still great. New member, Deborah B. Welcome to his house, Deborah. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Those of us that said no will be laughing when they start to criticize the vax in October before midterms. Oh, they've already started. They're blaming it on Trump. Trump pressured the FDA to shortcut things to get approval. As if that is not all under Fauci's watch. It's just amazing. But they're going to throw Fauci under the bus as well. Just stay tuned. Former DC lobbyist for medical choice here in Fauci juice manufacturers insert highly specific. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Vaso, former DC lobbyist for medical choice here in vaccine manufacturers insert highly specifies against vaccine against autoimmune cancer patients. Then protocol subjective to differ. It's been going on forever. Say one, say another. Well, it's like it's the ultimate gaslighting. If you've said both A and not A, either at the same time or at different points in time, you're always right. Oh, we never said masks didn't work. I mean, we said masks were compulsory. We never said, oh yeah, we said they didn't work. So that now if we go back to I'm going to bring this up just to be objective. He's definitely, you can't defend Trump on the vax issue. He's definitely a key piece of the puzzle. Been saying this for years. Now Jones calls him out and others are finally finding their balls to question him. I don't think it's a question of courage or balls. It's just a question of, there's no doubt he would have loved to have had the defining signature moment of the success of his presidency, the miracle cure. Who wouldn't want that? MAGA Republicans versus corporate Republicans are a real thing. I mean, first of all, if we're calling it rhinos versus conservatives, fine. The way the press secretary is using the term MAGA Republicans to demonize American citizens and the SCOTUS is reckless. It's reckless. Okay. You know what? Cameron, we're going to do this right now. I want to see if we can find this out right now. Owen Benjamin. What's the other guy? Gavin McInnes. It looks like results are changing quickly. Oh, you sons of bee stings. Oh, you son of a bee. Hold on, I'm going to cough again. Excuse me. It's not the Rona either, people. It's just a dry throat. You got to see this, and this is how I know something's up now because I knew what happened the last time this happened. I forget what the subject matter was last time, but oh yeah, so subjects are changing quickly, so it's not giving me any results. Let's go to news. Old news. Let's try this. What is it? Duck. Not that it's any better, people, but it might just give us different results. Evan McInnes. Owen Benjamin says Gavin McInnes lied about being arrested. Okay, well, we got results here at least. Reddit, McInnes gives him a shout out. Okay. Okay, so unconfirmed. Unconfirmed and unconfirmable for now. I'll keep following it. Okay. Sorry, I forgot. Damn it. I got banned from Reddit. Rekieta got banned. It's not Rekieta. I got banned from Reddit for talking about Gavin. Reddit is, once the CEO, whoever that guy was, admitted to changing messages because he didn't like the people, that website should have gone the way of the dodo bird. It's a terrible hellhole, if I do respectfully say so myself. Now I'm missing an orange chat. Oh no, I got that one. Okay. All right. Reddit. Okay. There's another story here, people. The COVID guide. We did this already. Okay, so we got that article. I don't need that one now. 1:45. Okay, we got plenty of time. Okay, let me just, I'm going to clear out the bookmarks. Okay, we did that too. Which one do we go to? Let's go to the FBI. So you all open in Chrome. Okay. The news of the day, people. Let's see that we're watching the same thing. Top-level FBI agent under fire for role in Hunter Biden investigation resigns. It's ABC News, people. No, this is CBS News. So by and large, it's going to be garbage. But when it's garbage that's counter-narrative, it's actually going to be more reliable than Fox News, for example, running the story, although these are just known facts now. Timothy Thibault, a top-level FBI agent who had been under fire for his role in investigations, investigations, I think you mean in his role for absence of investigations into President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, resigned late last week and walked out of the FBI, the two U.S. officials confirmed. But these officials also said that Thibault had reached retirement age, and they added that all those who retire hand over their badge and gun and are escorted out of the building. That was reported also in Fox News. So they said it's standard protocol when someone resigns or when they are, when they leave, that they're walked out. Here's a box of your stuff. Thank you for your service. Retirement age. What movie was it from? It was with Paul, not Fiorentino, Sorrento. And the people, what movie is this from? Where they're talking about what they do with a lion, what the pride does with a lion when the lion has passed his prime. And then there was the whole description about the hyenas, tearing apart the weak lion it fights. Yeah. When controversial agents have reached their peak, let's just shuffle them out and try to shuffle away the controversy. What movie was it in? Paul Sorrentino? It was not The Gladiator. Paul Sorvino. It was Paul Sorvino, and it was not The Lion King. Thank you. No, it wasn't The Lion King, people. Well, we're not going to see it. So, anyways, an FBI agent who's the source of controversy has either retired, has either been fired, but one way or the other has been escorted out as per protocol. Why can't I find the article? Because it's on the bottom of my screen. Thibault, who worked in the FBI headquarters, yada yada, had recently been removed from his position as assistant special agent in charge of the FBI's Washington field office. So he'd recently been removed from a position, and then he retired. Yeah, dude, if I'm getting demoted for disciplinary reasons, yeah, I'm looking for a way out. Also, came under fire earlier this year from Republican Senator Chuck Grassley, who accused him of improper conduct in the Hunter Biden investigation, alleging that Thibault had tried to close the probe. The probe into Hunter Biden's business practices run by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Delaware is ongoing. Nothing to see here, people. It's just probably totally coincidence. It was not Goodfellas. It was the Walking the Lion speech, Christopher Walken, the Lion speech. Okay, so I might be mistaking two things then. Everyone in here guessing movies is not guessing the right movie. It was a movie about he was playing an opera singer or a Vegas performer. It had Alec Baldwin in it. Tabarnouche. It was not Zoolander, people. Okay. Everyone's okay. I'm done with it. No more jokes. No more. Okay, whatever. I'll see it and I'll know it when I see it. Alec Baldwin was in the movie. Paul Sorvino. I can find it afterwards. The Fixers. Not true. Okay, we're done with the jokes. FBI, nothing to see here. Carry on with your day. Elon Musk, a little update, by the way. Oh, lordy, lordy. Anyone who thinks litigation is a one-way street, stay out of litigation. Elon Musk, the news of the day. When was this from? August 30th, today. Elon Musk files another notice to cancel Twitter takeover, citing whistleblowers' data privacy concerns. We haven't gotten the update on the documents that Elon Musk and his side is supposed to get from the terminated former employee as relates to bot accounts. Twitter responds to Elon Musk, calls whistleblower statements riddled with inconsistencies and inaccuracies and lack important context. That means it's true. It lacks context. No. When he said there's 20% bot accounts, it lacks the context that we redefine bots to mean computer program generated accounts and not actually just, I'm making up an example. Lacks context is what fake news fact checkers say. So when Twitter is saying it's riddled with inconsistent, that's I bet you if I go to Snopes right now, that's what they'll say. Musk's latest attempt to backpedal out of the deal cites revelations found in the Zatko complaint, a memo released by a former security chief for Twitter that alleged the platform had misused user data and lacks control of the site's core systems. Musk's camp filed the notice despite claiming it was legally unnecessary due to a previous motion to cancel the purchase. Fine. As we say in French, trop fort casse pas. Too strong doesn't break. The August 29 filing is intended to ensure the deal is terminated even in the event Musk's previous complaints fail to hold in court. So it's just adding additional arguments. Because these facts were known to Twitter and withheld from the Musk parties, and because Twitter has since taken the position that the merger agreement remains in effect, the Musk parties hereby provide additional notice of termination. It's like double secret termination of share purchase agreement. Twitter's former security chief accused the social media giant of extreme, egregious deficiencies. People, when you're drafting in law, you don't have to use the extremely hyperbolic, repetitive, in an egregious act of overt bad faith. I did it. I might even still do it more than I should when I have to write a letter. It doesn't add anything. It actually detracts from the seriousness of the argument. The egregious, repetitious, bad faith conduct illustrates the malicious intent. So methinks they doth hyperbolize too much. Extreme, egregious deficiencies related to Twitter's former chief. Extreme, egregious deficiencies related to cybersecurity issues and shareholder and national at risk, according to the whistleblower complaint with government agencies. Extreme, egregious deficiencies. You know what would be better than the qualifications? Just cite what the deficiencies were. There were material deficiencies, and here they are. Extreme. Don't tell me what to think. Give me the information and let me come to the conclusion myself. Respectfully submitted. The whistleblower who has agreed to be identified as Pieter Muj Zatko sent an 84-page filing to Congress in July, which has been obtained in a redacted version by Fox Business. Ooh, where is it? It states that Twitter executive misled the company's board, shareholders, and federal regulators about extreme, egregious deficiencies in its cybersecurity defenses. What were they? Twitter responded to Musk Tuesday saying the new filing is based solely on statements made by a third party that, as Twitter, I thought that said twatter, has previously stated, are riddled with inconsistencies and lack important context. Zatko complaint compounds Musk's previous claims that Twitter mismanagement, with SpaceX CEO's notice claiming the platform could be existentially threatened by the leak's legal ramifications. I agree with that. If the executives lied in or were not transparent or deceitful in SEC filings, they're going to face shareholder lawsuits. They could face SEC sanctions. They could face congressional sanctions. Did they lie to Congress? Did they mislead Congress? The notice continued, speculating that the company could be facing a dangerous series of legal battles in the near future. Twitter will also now face a myriad of civil lawsuits asserting whatever. Okay, so I want to see if I can find that the redacted complaint. I'd like to know what that says specifically. Egregious, serious. Yeah. I'd like to know what it was. Where do you keep your cold drinks at the beach? Is that a riddle, or they get warm? We don't go to the beach. I think we've been to the beach twice since we've been here because the kids don't like going because they're a bunch of ingrates. What I wouldn't have done to have parents who love the beach and love fishing What I wouldn't have done, and I've got kids who are ingrates. I ask them to go to the beach and they give me a hard time about it. Whine, kick, and scream. Then you get to the beach. The sand's making me itchy. The salt's making me itchy. And they kick sand all over the place. I will admit, the beach irritates me a little bit. Sand is annoying. When government workers quit, the government loses the ability to compel testimony. If you remember back to A. McCabe, so all those people retiring, quitting, etc., is a defense maneuver. If they quit, the government loses the ability to compel testimony. Furby Slayer, I'm going to have to think about that. In this case, the government would not be the one who wants to compel testimony. I would have thought, I don't know. Let me screen grab this and just see if I can digest that afterwards. Oh, it was the cooler. It was the cooler, people. Thank you. Yes. It was the cooler. I was just thinking about that movie the other day also. Okay, let me see what's going on in the chat here. The cooler. William H. Macy and the woman in it, I forget her name, also very good. Did the guy who got promoted from the Whitmer case get this guy's job now? I thought they said he was the assistant to the Washington field office. They definitely said he was the assistant field office agent and not the lead. Let's see what we got here. Viva. Glad to join your channel, Deborah B. Thank you very much. I am a deplorable Canadian gal who is an what does that mean? Unfinancial MAGA loving support. So envious of you moved to Florida. Keep up the good fight for the truth. Thank you very much. I'll say one thing. It's watching the world seemingly go off the deep end. And then it is weird. And then, like, telling the truth, raising people's awareness becomes the act of defiance. It's weird. I'm in Florida now. So, by the way, stay tuned for upcoming announcements. Be good. Sand is your friend. It's a conflict. I get old. You don't like that. Don't bring sand in the car. You get it's our car, so it doesn't really matter. But a rental car, they charge you more to clean it when you bring it back. Sand gets everywhere. You get it in your teeth. You can't eat at the beach. But I love the beach. And I was under the water the other day, and a school of bait fish were swarming around me, like I was in a bait ball. And then I saw a beautiful, I think it was a snook. Amazing. I can't. Stay tuned for announcements. Okay, now hold on. Add to stream. And then I'm probably going to go do a locals exclusive after this because I owe it to the locals, but my morning was a little preoccupied with things that were beyond my control. No, this is incognito, so I can't. Okay, let me just go to my Twitter feed and then make sure that we've covered everything for the day. Tomorrow, Tabarnouche. Who do we have for sidebar? I don't remember, but we have a good sidebar for tomorrow. Viva clips for the short clips, everybody. Viva Fry for the merch. Viva VivaBarnesLaw.locals.com for the great exclusive stuff. And let me just bring up my running diary of the madness that is the world in which we live. There's my tongue-in-cheek response. Yes, we'll leave that there. Okay. MAGA Republicans, we covered that. The COVID warning. The grifties.com. Okay, we got that too. Oh, okay, just humorous. Disclosed TV, it's a news outlet. Greenland ice sheet gained 7 gigatons of mass in just one day yesterday, the largest daily gain ever recorded during the summer. Okay, look. In as much as one summer does not make climate change global warming, neither does one day of ice gain. Who knows what happened? But the joke is there. The joke is there. Global cooling is coming, people. We're all doomed. Evidence. When you want to just take, what's the word I'm looking for? Not spontaneous, but not fragmented, but particularized pieces of evidence. You can prove anything. Statistics can prove anything. 87% of the people know that. Now, I can't remember this guy's. I can't get the original tweet because I've been blocked because it was so genius. The man said, B. Friedman. Who is he? Am I going to be able to see who he is? I won't be able to see. I got blocked. He basically said that people complaining about the additional IRS agents are refusing to pay tax. Tax dollars fund the military. So refusal or objection to paying tax is tantamount to insurrectionism. To which I said, this is the dumbest thing I've read all day. It was 8:11 in the morning. And then I also made the joke, open your books. Whoever says something so stupid, there is not one individual on earth that a thorough, and I would dare say maybe a disingenuous, politicized audit of anyone's accounting could find you should have paid a little more taxes in 2019. Insurrectionist. Hey, he blocked me. I guess I was too mean. Nuts. I don't even think that me at my meanest is all that mean. Okay, more there. Then I had a little debate with someone who turned out, I believe, to be just a bona fide troll. Okay, it doesn't matter. Yeah, more on the MAGA Republicans and the highlights. Okay, good. People, I think we did this. I'm going to close this up. I'm going to go to the chat and see if there's anything in here. Bradley, truth being told. Stupid. Yeah, Teresa Kindby. Continuation of the Obama administration. Demonize, isolate, and weaponize agencies against opponents. Prosecute whistleblowers. Divide society. Saul Alinsky and Cloward Piven on crack. Collapse the system. Saul Alinsky, Rules for Radicals. Never read it, but read the Wikipedia synopsis. Kids at Florida beaches hate the morning squid smell. I love the smell of the ocean. I East Coast Canada, West Coast Canada, the ocean is magical. It is just magical. Yeah, Bill Gates' new favorite book, How to Lie with Statistics. Was it Benjamin Disraeli? There are 3 types of lies: lies, damn lies, and statistics. To quote Homer Simpson, statistics can be used to prove anything. 86% of the people know that. The loan forgiveness is a way to disassemble the military. No incentive to join. Oh, that's very, very interesting. Okay, it's interesting, but no, because it's forgiven. I mean, look, respectfully, counterpoint. It's forgiving a loan already incurred, not promising a totally free education or loan forgiveness for the future, unless I don't understand the extent of it. But an interesting idea, because the military does use free or even a paid education to join the military. I had a couple of friends who did it in Canada. Viva, the ocean is magic fry. It is. Like, it's so incredible. It goes on forever. The volume of water, the mystery at the depth of the ocean. When I was a kid, there was nothing more I loved than books on the Marianas Trench. Anglerfish were the most glorious creatures of any form of a god that could ever exist. They have their own bait built in, as do many animals. The male anglerfish embeds himself onto the female anglerfish so that she can have a parasitic form of sperm sac to impregnate herself whenever she wants it. It's like I always think, like, when it comes to just like human pregnancy, if someone were to write a science fiction book that one creature inserts the schmeckel into the privates of another person, puts in a liquid that then grows into a baby in the person's stomach, that then comes out of the person's vagina, like, that would be implausible science fiction. It would be implausible. It's more alien than anything you could conceive of as being alien. It's magnificent. And it just happens to be the world in which we live. I have also embedded my... Okay. I think there's a Lonely Island song about that. Genesis Magic. I like that. Viva, God made the anglerfish, and of course it is magnificent. It's amazing. Everything down there. The ocean is where aliens come from, and I remember the movie The Abyss. One of the best movies. I'm not sure if I would like it anymore, but maybe I'll have to give it a rewatch. I remember being blown away by it. Fun fact, by the way, actually, before we wind up for the day. That movie was premised or predicated on the idea that they were trying to get people to be able to breathe oxygen-rich water. And I thought it was too science fiction. Breathe oxygen It's not. And the reason for which it doesn't work, if I remember correctly, the reason why it didn't work on human was not because you couldn't pull oxygen out of water. It was because the density of the water was too thick and that it was too difficult for the muscles to push in and out the dense liquid as opposed to air, that it was cracking ribs from what I remember. Now, let me just see. We're going to do this in real time and end on this before I get to 2 more super chats. Can humans breathe liquid? Breathe it in, yada, yada, yada. In fact, it can and already has been done. Before we elucidate how it may... Okay, so we don't need to do that. Now, just let me see something here. Ribs. Because I remember it being an issue of breaking ribs because it took too much energy. Okay. Liquid ventilation has also been successfully attempted on critically ill adults with lung disorders. In short, breathing liquid is possible, but don't attempt in order to impress the guests at your next dinner party. Okay. Science fiction it's almost reality. And when I remember thinking, I read somewhere that to force it in and out was cracking ribs and causing body. That was the only reason. It had nothing to do with the science. Okay. We got our Canadian flag with the leaf falling down. Viva, I miss you, but I understand. Well wishes. D, thank you very much. No government program ever really goes away or ever stays as it was intended. Can anyone name one? Income tax to finance a war. Never knew it. Learned it recently. Income tax 100 years later, give or take whatever it is now. Hey, hasn't Ashley's confirmed the diary? Well, the FBI did, because 2 individuals have pleaded guilty to stealing Ashley Biden's diary. You can't plead guilty to stealing a diary that doesn't belong to the person whom is alleged to have had it stolen from them. The only question remains what's the word I'm looking for? Not the authenticity, but rather the probative value of the content of that diary. The diary is authentic. Now it's a question of assessing the probative value of the stories and thoughts and confessions elucidated, enunciated, implicated, instigated. No, it's a question of the probative values of the content of that diary. Your lion monologue, just add YouTube. Oh, okay, fine. Well, I'll go find it afterwards. But people, liquids are generally not compressible. I made sure to take myself off the... Oh, no, I don't know what that's about, but... Okay, so that's it. Let's do this. Octopi may actually be aliens. They are freaky smart. Well, it's... When you think... By the way, another mind-blowing fact, 50% of water on Earth, I think it's 50%, give or take, came from meteorites, which makes it alien liquid. Why wouldn't there be... I mean, it's almost necessarily true that there would have to be, if water is the source of life, which it is, and fact check me, but it's like 48%. It's a significant portion of water on Earth came from alien, I say extraterrestrial meteor comets. Dude, everything on Earth is alien life. It's just our alien life, and therefore it's not alien to us. Okay, go now. That's it. Octopi have 8 brains. True. You just have to understand what the scope of those brains are, and don't make me feel guilty about eating squid and octopus. Viva's here. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. Okay, people, go. I'm going to go exercise. Not right now, maybe when it cools down a little bit. Owen Benjamin, okay, thank you. I got to this, and now we're good, and I think we're done for the day. We are Stardust. There's no question about that. I'm going to sweat. Yesterday, I jogged through another swarm of gnats. My wife said it was almost as bad as the first time, but not quite. Hit the like button. People, thank you very much for spending time together, going through the nonsense of the world in which we live. I say don't lose faith in terms of the black pill. I think I'm going to end every episode with this now, every show, every stream. Protest in a way that would make both your parents and your children proud, and you can do no wrong. All right. With that said, people, go enjoy the day, be well, talk to people in real life, check in, check on people around you, and do not give up the pursuit of truth.